I might just build a little bit on what Tom said, because I completely agree. I mean, you're kind of looking for that perfect storm in a way. And it's absolutely true that, to have an idea on the weekend and then sort of pitch it on Monday is probably not going to be the most effective. I think research is really important. Kind of really being driven and understanding what your project is, what your story is, what you're doing, what you're telling, who the team is. Outcomes are important, but it's also, people are the most important thing, really. I think people fund outcomes, but people fund people as well. So it's a combination of the idea, the team, the people that a funder is going to believe in to realise that compelling narrative, and then having all the materials in place, ready to go, as you say. So having done the research, I mean, in film, in terms of film, it is really good to have a bit of footage to be able to show, the characters or something of the story or something that makes people... I mean, there's nothing like footage. I think we all know that. When you have a little clip on social media, it's going to travel much better than to just have text, for instance. So you're wanting to engage people quite quickly, but yes, having everything lined up. And I think research is essential, and by research I mean not just research into your own idea and where that's coming from, but research into the people that you're hoping to attract to your idea. So really putting that time into looking who is likely to be interested in my project, who's kind of interested in this space, who's maybe funded something else in this space, who cares about the environment or human rights or whatever the issue is, and what else have they funded, and how might I attract them to my project. It's all of those things, lining up your ducks in a way.
Yeah, fantastic.
Could I add on for that just a little bit? Because I think one of the key principles really echoing that is that I think a lot of people make two mistakes in particular in crowdfunding to build on that. One is not being thoughtful enough about the community you're building, thinking that you're raising money from some random group of people online who maybe are just hanging around on the given crowdfunding platform you've chosen, just waiting for your brilliant idea to show up so they can give it money. That's not how fundraising works. Your job is to find your funders, not expect them to find you. And there's no platform on earth that just simply provides your funders. They're all a set of tools you use to go out there and build your community. Connected to that, though, is I think people often don't research the different models of crowdfunding even, just to get slightly tactical. There's two primary models of crowdfunding. One's called Keep What You Raise and the other's called All or Nothing, and they're both kind of what it says on the box. In both cases, you set a goal and you have a set amount of time, but in one case, the goal and the time really matter, because if you don't reach your goal before the time runs out, you don't receive any funds pledged so far. In the other version, you do get to keep the funds pledged even if you don't reach your goal. I think a lot of people who are inexperienced fundraisers gravitate towards the Keep What You Raise model because it sounds so much better. Who wouldn't want to keep what you've raised? You want to lose what you've raised? No one wants to lose what they've raised. You go, well, this is definitely what I want, keep what I raise. What you're not realizing is that you're choosing the choice that makes you feel that is less stressful for you. Because the idea of all or nothing, really stressful. There's so much on the line. The possibility that you could go through this whole experience and end up with nothing is just a horrifying possible outcome, and you can't even bear the thought that that might happen. But that risk that you're avoiding by then choosing the Keep What You Raise option hasn't vanished. You've outsourced it to all your potential supporters. Because you've told me that you need, let's say, $40,000 to finish this film. Right now, you're on $4,000. And I have to sit with the likely possibility that you're not going to reach $40,000. And what then is going to happen to my money? Because you've defined that as the amount that you need to finish your film. 3/4 of a film is no film. Half a film is no film. It's a binary outcome. And so the idea that I would end up giving my money to a non-outcome so that you can live off my funds for a little while licking your wounds and thinking about how you're going to raise the rest of the money is a totally unacceptable outcome for me as a donor. I want to fund your film. And so I think it's really important. It comes back to this idea of you've got to step into this. You've got to think about your donors. No one cares about your feelings. You have to care about the feelings of your potential donors. It's their stress, their perception of risk, their emotions that you need to cultivate and be mindful of, not your emotions. You have to put yours aside and do the right thing tactically for your project. And so the choice of whether to do all or nothing or keep your raises, is there a binary outcome? If you do need a set amount of money to promise the outcome, then you have to go with all or nothing, because it's the only thing that lines up with that reality in a way that is credible to your donors.